New AEW World Champion Adam Page. My goodness, hallelujah, hallelujah. Man. Adam Page defeated John Moxley at AEW All In. Thank goodness, because John Moxley is just the worst wrestler. And he was just a horrible champion. The nonsense with the Death Riders, it just did not make any sense. It seemed like at first, when we first found out about his group, that they were going to do something special, but they didn't even move the needle. So I am so happy that Adam Page won, even though I'm not really crazy about Adam Page, but I like Adam Page so much more than I like John Moxley. So with this match, it was a hot mess. The guys went for 35 minutes and 55 seconds. We had interference from the Death Riders, of course. Who else came out? The Young Bucks. Daniel Bryanson, he made his return. Swerve came out. It was just a bunch of nonsense. And John Moxley, it's like all of his matches or most of his matches, he's like a backyard wrestler. He doesn't look, he's not a professional wrestler at all. It just does not make any sense. And he's not a good worker. But just the things that they did in this match was just outrageous to me. The spot where Adam Page, where I think he had a fork and he stabbed John Moxley in the head with a fork and he was bleeding. John Moxley. It was just ridiculous. We had cheers, we had nonsense tables, just and the match just went on, and then with the interference, it was just like, okay, when is this match going to be over? And I know it's the main event, so the main event, I'm fine with a main event going 25 to 30 minutes, even though I'm not crazy about long matches. But if it's good, I like it. But this match was not that. It wasn't a good match. But thank goodness at the end, Adam Page hit the buckshot lariat and he grabbed a chain. He put the chain around Moxley's neck, and then he threw Moxley over the rope, and Moxley tapped out. My goodness, Moxley needs to stay away from AEW or from the from the television, from the weekly television shows for a long time. I don't want to see him. Well, actually, he was back on Dynamite actually this past week or last week, I should say. My goodness, I was hoping that he would have been written off of TV for 3 months, 4 months at least. That's what I was hoping for. But he's back with the Death Rider. So, yeah, thank goodness Adam Page is a champion because my goodness, John Moxley it wasn't doing anything for me. And, a couple other things from the show. The other matches, the Ops, they defeated the Death Riders, and that was for was that for the trios, that was for the AEW World Trios Championship. I was not really paying attention to this match, but I know that when I came back, because I was working out, and I just got home from the gym. I said, okay, dang, I'm running a little late for the show, and I took a shower and I came back out, saw some of the match, and then walked away a little, then came back, and Samoa Joe hit his finisher on someone, and he got the 1, 2, 3, and then we had the attack, the Death Riders, they attacked Samoa Joe, and I'm like, why are they doing this? What is the point of this? But apparently, Samoa Joe, he's going to be promoting the second season of Twisted Metal. So he's going to be out for some time. Was that really needed? No. They could have just been off of TV just because. Whatever. And then what was the next match? It was okay. It was the men's casino gauntlet match. This match went for 34 minutes and 55 seconds. It was a long match. It was way too long. MJF won. He pinned Roderick Strong. I'm happy that MJF won. And then Dustin Rhodes. Well, before that, Adam Cole came out and he was saying how he had to relinquish his the TNT championship, because of injury. He has to take care of his health. And I was like, man, that's horrible. That's unfortunate. And then we had, it was a fatal 4-way for the vacant AEW or the vacant TNT championship. Dustin Rhodes, Daniel Garcia, Kyle Fletcher, and Sammy. And pretty much, Dustin Rhodes, he won the match. I was surprised. I really thought that Kyle Fletcher should have won the match, but Dustin Rhodes won, and it was a good moment. And I think after maybe 2 months or 3 months, let's put the title on Kyle Fletcher. You got to really push Kyle, push him, as a star. He looks like a star. He really, has improved in the ring. He's always been good in the ring to me, but just his character. I'm not sure about the glasses that he comes out with. Sometimes it's just kind of like that's kind of weird, but just anyway, just with his physique and all that kind of stuff, he looks like a star. So yeah, we need to push Kyle Fletcher. And then what else happened? The Swerve Strickland and Offspray and tag team matches against the Young Bucks. And this match went for 25 minutes and 50 seconds. And I will tell you one thing: I like Offspray, I like Swerve. Well, I like Offspray and Swerve. This match went on way too long, and the entrances, I believe the entrances alone, I think it was, yeah, the entrances were 15 minutes, I believe, for both teams. It was ridiculous. And the Young Bucks coming out, they're the founding fathers and that phony ship and all that nonsense. The Young Bucks, they suck. I am so tired of them. They are just so phony. Yes, I give it to them. The guys are athletic and all that kind of stuff, but it's the same match after same match. The same routine, nothing new. And then it seemed like the Young Bucks at one point, well, not at one point, a couple of times in the match, it seemed like the Young Bucks, it seemed like they were going to win the match. Thankfully, they didn't, because I'm thinking like, okay, what are they doing? It's like, okay, when are we going to get to the finish? And also another thing about the show, there were so many tombstones, so many pile drivers. I think there was or maybe a couple pile drivers in every match. I kid you not. It was so ridiculous. But anyway, Swerve and Offspray, they won. Thank goodness. The Young Bucks, they are no longer the EVPs, and they need to go away. They need to go somewhere else. Tony Khan needs to get rid of them. They don't move the needle, and they're so phony. They're just awful. They're really awful. And then we had the women's casino gauntlet match. And you know what? I actually enjoyed this match. I know it was chaotic and, some spots that got messed up and all that kind of nonsense. But Athena won. I did not see that. I did not see her winning. My friend, he's like, what if he said, I think Athena or so and so or Megan Bain, I think one of them is probably going to win. And he was right. So Athena won. That really surprised me. She pinned Miss Mina. And this match it was 27 minutes. 27 minutes. So yeah, this was a long show. And then we got what was it? The triple or the three-way tag team match for for the AEW World Tag Team Championship. The Hurt Syndicate, Jet Speed, versus Christian and Nick Wayne. This match, there was a lot that was going on. I was afraid that the Hurt Syndicate, I thought that they were going to lose the titles. I was like, man, it's going to happen. It's going to happen, especially towards the end, with the FTR. Yeah, I think it was Lashley. He pushed Christian Cage or someone into FTR, and then FTR got in the ring, and I thought that they were going to distract the Hurt Syndicate and have in order for Christian Cage and Nick Wayne to win. But anyway, someone hit someone. I think I forget what happened at the end. Someone, I think the FTR, they were on the ring, or Dax was on the ring apron, and I think Christian went after him or something like that, or Nick Wayne. I don't know. But anyway, the Hurt Syndicate, they won the match. And it was so funny when the rappers came out for the Hurt Syndicate's entrance. I was like, you know what, that's really cool. But one guy, when he was saying hurt people, he didn't like he was like hurt people. It was so funny. My friend and I, we were cracking up. It was just like the way he was saying it. I don't know if it was just us, but we just thought it was so funny, you know. But anyway, so that was that. And then Timeless Storm. She defeated Mercedes, and I was like, thank goodness that match was 24 minutes and 10 seconds. And Toni Storm, she retained her, women's championship or women's world championship. So I'm like, thank goodness. I know some people were saying that was a great match. I wasn't really crazy about it because there was a couple times where they hit so many tombstones, so many pile drivers, and okay, the person, they would kick out of the move or moves, and I'm like, I'm not really feeling this. And Tony Storm, she hit the Storm Zero. I think it was like maybe three times in a row, and Mercedes kicked out. I'm like, what is this? But finally, Tony Storm, she had another Storm Zero, and she pinned Miss Mercedes. So yes, I'm happy about that. Mercedes, I really think that she is overrated. I don't think she's that good. I really don't think that. I really don't think that she's that good at all. But anyway, the next match it was Okada versus Kenny Omega, and this was both titles were on the line. Okada's Continental and the International, and this was to unify both belts or whatever. And I am actually surprised because I thought Kenny Omega was going to win. And this I know, you talk about like okay, AEW when it comes to these shows, they don't know how to finish. They don't know how to finish a match. It's like, okay, this match should have ended 10 minutes ago, 15 minutes ago. But I actually like this match. This was my favorite match from the show, and even though, I'm not really crazy about Okada, I really like Kenny Omega. And Mr. Whatever his name is, Okada, he defeated Kenny Omega. I feel like that was not the right call. I think Okada, I think he's a lazy worker. He's supposed to be one of the best from New Japan. Is it New Japan? Yeah, New Japan Pro Wrestling, I believe. But since he's been here, in AEW, I think there was maybe two of his matches I really liked. But most of his other matches, he's just lazy. He doesn't seem enthusiastic, and he just seems, I don't know, I don't know, just not really into it. He's just going through the motion and he has no emotions, I don't know, no facial expressions. It's just like he's just a lazy worker. I don't know how to explain it. Just, like I guess just the way that I said it. But we shall see how this is going to be. And then also the other thing with him doing that middle finger thing and saying shut up the B word, that's kind of like that's giving me amateur hour. You're supposed to be a professional wrestler. You're in AEW. This is the second top wrestling promotion in America. So it's like, what are we doing here? Maybe change your persona, maybe stop being so phony and comical. Because I know people think it's funny when they do that, when Okada does the middle finger, they zoom in, zoom out, or whatever they do. It's whack, it's corny. But anyway, that was that. And please let me know how did you feel about the show. Take care and have a good one.